Hi, and welcome back to Write and Rise. So, today I'm going to chat about how to stop hustling and start aligning. But before I do get into that, this is just a reminder that I do have free resources on my webpage, which I'll link in the description below. Now, I know that it is common experience to feel like you're running a race that was never designed for you. People push, strive, and achieve. The finish line keeps moving, and you're just empty. We've been told that success is about the climb, about the grind, about external achievement, the title, the salary, the corner office. But for so many of us, that version of success feels like wearing shoes that are 2 sizes too small. We can walk in them, maybe even run for a while, but it hurts, and eventually it breaks us. But what if we've had the blueprint wrong all along? The barrier was never your ability, it was your alignment. Trying to thrive in a structure not built for your body, your intuition, or your cyclical energy is by its very nature exhausting. But what if we flip the script? What if your intuition is your greatest foresight? What if your empathy is not a weakness, but leadership with profound depth? And what if the very nature you've been taught to control is actually your most powerful guide? It's time to stop forcing a feminine way of being into a masculine framework. This is about a new way to lead, a new way to build. It's about leading from wholeness, building a success that doesn't drain you, but nourishes you, a success that feels like home. Because a woman who leads from alignment cannot be controlled. She cannot be silenced, and she absolutely cannot be contained. There is a fundamental shift from external to internal alignment. Traditional success focuses outward. It's a constant chase for validation from the world. Internal alignment, the feminine way of thriving, focuses inward. It's about listening to your own truth. When your actions align with that inner truth, something incredible happens. Effort starts to feel effortless. Resistance dissolves. You stop swimming upstream and start flowing with the current of your own life. So, what does this look like in practice? How does alignment actually transform your day to day life? Well, let's break it down. Let's start with your schedule. Instead of a rigid treadmill of back to back tasks, what if you aligned your work with your energy? Maybe you do your deep, focused, creative work in the morning when you're fresh. You save collaborative meetings for the lively afternoons, and you protect your evenings for genuine rest. Your calendar becomes a reflection of your personal rhythm, not a prison cell. Your energy. Notice how some tasks, even if they're hard, leave you feeling invigorated, and others, even simple ones, completely drain you. That's your values at work. Alignment means you prioritize the tasks that feed your soul and release the ones that deplete you. You protect your vitality like the precious resource it is. And your commitments. This is a big one. Alignment means you say yes from a place of purpose, not pressure. And you say no from a place of self respect, not selfishness. Every yes becomes a conscious choice that honors your truth, not someone else's expectation. And your relationships. When you lead from alignment, you attract your people. Your authenticity becomes a magnet for kindred connections. Clear boundaries and honest communication don't push people away. They create the space for genuine, growth oriented relationships to flourish. Your goals. We shift from the heavy pressure of I must achieve this to the creative energy of I want to co create this. Your goals become living, breathing reflections of your evolving vision, not just static boxes to tick off a list. Your emotional state. Alignment replaces anxiety with a calm, grounded confidence. Challenges stop feeling like threats to your identity and start feeling like opportunities for growth. You become more resilient and more centered. And finally, your purpose. You don't have to go on a quest to find it in a distant monastery. Purpose emerges as you live authentically. It's not a grand mission you have to figure out. It's a continuous unfolding that happens when you live in alignment with your values and your intuition. Okay, so all this sounds amazing, but how do we actually do it? How do we build this internal alignment? It starts with what I call the four pillars of feminine alignment. These are deliberate embodied practices to guide you back to your deepest, unconditioned self. First is your inner truth. This is about being, not performing. When you act from your inner truth, you stop trying to manage everyone else's perception of you. The clarity that comes from this dissolves doubt, fuels courage, and turns your intentions into unstoppable momentum. Think of Virginia Woolf, writing with a revolutionary voice despite a male dominated literary world. Or Malala Yousafzai, whose inner truth, the right to an education, was so powerful it overrode every external warning. When you align with your truth, you tap into that same inexhaustible well. Second is your inner safety. This is a felt sense that you are okay, even when things are chaotic. It's the ability to regulate your nervous system so you can receive, lead, and create without slipping into survival mode. Creativity, leadership, and manifestation all require you to be open. When you feel safe on the inside, your body stops hypervigilating and comes into presence. A regulated woman can accomplish in 2 focused hours what a burnt out woman scrambles to achieve in 10. This brings us to the third pillar, inner authority. Ask yourself this question. Do I trust myself to lead my own life? From the time we are girls, we are conditioned to doubt. Questions like, are you sure? Are you being too emotional? Or who do you think you are? These things chip away at our confidence, and over time, our instinct is drowned out by second guessing. Our brilliance hesitates, waiting for permission it already holds. Inner authority is the radical choice to trust yourself anyway. It's speaking without over explaining. It's deciding without seeking approval. It is standing firm without apology, not aggression, or autonomy, not dominance, but self-trust. When a woman claims her inner authority, she doesn't just transform her own life. She transforms the world for everyone who follows. And finally, the inner rhythm. Ask yourself, am I working with my energy or against it? Feminine energy moves in cycles, just like the seasons or the moon. There are times for planting and high energy, and times for harvesting, and times for deep rest. Honor this rhythm, and burnout fades. Resist it, and exhaustion is inevitable. When you align with your rhythm, your work becomes sustainable, and your life feels deeply, truly right. Success unfolds when you move with yourself, not against yourself. Now that we have the 4 pillars of alignment, how do we translate that into a tangible success? And this is where we introduce the new success triad. This is a new framework. True sustainable success is a state of being, not just a list of accomplishments. It rests on these 3 pillars: clarity, capacity, and coherence. When they're aligned, they create a woman who is magnetic, grounded, and unstoppable. First, clarity. This is your inner compass. It's honest, sharp, and self-trusted. Without clarity, you chase shadows, you burn out from indecision, and you move fast without actually moving forward. Clarity tells you the direction. Second, capacity. This is your ability to hold what you desire, emotionally, energetically, physically, and mentally. Think of it as the size and strength of your inner cup. If the cup is cracked or too small, success just leaks right out. When your capacity is low, success collapses, burnout strikes, and self-sabotage creeps in. Capacity holds the journey. Third, coherence. This is where the magic happens. Coherence is when who you are, what you believe, how you live, and what you do are all in perfect sync. It's integrity in motion. When you have coherence, you stop forcing and you start flowing. And with that flow comes power, presence, and effortless momentum. Coherence makes it true. Clarity tells you the direction. Capacity holds the journey. Coherence makes it true. And when all these three are strong, you don't just succeed, you thrive again and again. Now, I know this can feel abstract, so let me make it real. I want to share the story of a client named Nicole. Nicole is a 38-year-old wellness coach who felt stuck and overwhelmed. She came to me with a vague desire to help more women, but she was burning out and her business wasn't growing. So we applied the new success triad. First, her clarity. Through vision journaling, she narrowed down her vague goal of helping more women to a crystal clear mission, empowering mid-career women to launch purpose-driven businesses. She knew who she was here to serve. Next, her capacity. We used what I call a capacity radar, and her emotional stamina was at a 3 out of 10. She was in chronic stress, so she didn't try to add more to her plate. She set a no work after 6 p.m. and she added 15 minutes of breath work every morning, and she started weekly counseling. In just 1 month, her capacity score jumped to a 7 out of 10. She was finally building a strong enough cup to hold her success. Then came coherence. Her self-image was a catalyst for change, but a hidden belief was selling feels pushy and gross. These were in conflict, so she rewrote that belief. The new story: offering my value is an act of service to the world. She started posting weekly success stories of her clients and hosted free webinars. Now her actions were in sync with her identity. The results? Her followers grew from 200 to 5,000 in 6 months. Her revenue tripled, and more importantly, Nicole now describes herself as magnetic, grounded, and unstoppable. Clients aren't something she has to chase anymore. They seek her out. She went from hustle to harmonized. Nicole's story isn't a one-off miracle. It's what happens when soul, values, and vision come into alignment. Manifestation becomes inevitable. Women who make this shift experience a level of clarity, boundaries, confidence, creativity, and connection that the old hustle culture could never promise. The invitation is to stop fighting the current, to stop trusting the map that was drawn by someone else. Your intuition is your foresight. Your empathy is your strength, and your rhythm is your guide. It's time to build a success that doesn't drain you, but nourishes you. A success that feels like coming home. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button and subscribe for more content on leading and living from alignment. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Which pillar of the new success triad, clarity, capacity, or coherence, do you feel you need to work on the most right now? Remember, a woman who leads from alignment cannot be controlled, cannot be silenced, and cannot be contained. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.